What's up everybody, welcome back to the channel. If you're new, welcome. My name is Vilma, and if you're returning back to my channel, thank you so much for being patient, because I know I have not been uploading in the past 2 to 3 weeks, but I'll be doing a life updated video. If you're interested in that, then stay tuned. I will be updating you guys as to why I'm not doing my weekly normal upload routine. So today I'm reviewing my first ever NYX foundation. This is called the Total Control Foundation. It retails for £14. It comes in 24 available shades. The shade that I match myself to is 08, which is True Beige. You can find this widely available now in London. Any boot stores have NYX products, but mostly the larger stores will carry the entire collection. Now at Westfield Stratford, they actually have a NYX store, which I went 3 weeks ago when I decided to pick this product up, and they have everything in there. It actually feels really nice to have a somewhat drugstore brand, and I say somewhat because this brand is not the most affordable at the drugstore, but it's nice to find a completely separate store where you can find the whole collection available. Now this comes in a small glass jar, and at the top you have a little dropper where you can control the amount of drops that you want to apply on your skin. On the box it actually tells you that for light coverage you apply around 2, maybe a little bit more drops, but I would say 2 to 3 drops. To have a medium coverage, you would apply 3 to 4 drops, and if you want full coverage, you would apply 4 to 5, or maybe a little bit more. Now, I tested this foundation out with a beauty sponge. I also tested it out with a brush, and I personally prefer to apply with a brush. The one that I'm using today is by Sigma, and it's the angled top kabuki F84. I really like how this brush applies the foundation, but most of my brushes better saying, even my e.l.f. brush, which I absolutely love, which was sent to me, works really well. So I prefer to apply this foundation with a brush, because the beauty sponge that I have, for example the one from Real Techniques, absorbs a lot of product, and I feel like I need to use a lot more drops. Now, as always, before I start my demo, I always show you guys my current skin imperfections. I had a breakout on the left side of my face, which was really painful. It was about a month ago, but it still left a scar. But I don't usually have a lot of breakouts. I usually have them maybe because I ate something that I shouldn't have eaten it, or something, or like a hormonal breakout, if that makes sense. But I don't really suffer a lot from breakouts. I have combination to oily skin. I am 40 years old. I have fine lines, and I have humongous pores. And I always stress to say this information to you guys. For those of you who are new to my channel, I always tell you what my imperfections are, what my concerns are, and my age. So you can kind of like take a little bit of information and see if this foundation would be suitable for you. Now, I feel like most foundations that I review could be suitable for younger skin, mature skin, but this is my current experience, so hopefully it will help you decide if you want to buy this foundation or not. Now, in the demo, you guys could see that I didn't apply a bunch of dots all over my face. I tend to apply first on one side, like on my cheek and on my forehead, and for the purpose of this video I wanted to just apply coverage on one side so you guys could see the difference between both sides of my face. I find that the foundation blends in really nicely. There's nothing like dragging. It's not too thick. Obviously it's definitely not thick. You guys can see that it's a very liquidy foundation, and if you're not careful it could be a messy experience and the foundation just goes everywhere. But for the most part I have not had any accidents, and I just apply the foundation. I dot the foundation on sections of my face, and then I blend it in with my brush. Now, it does say on the box that if you want to apply full coverage, which was what I was going for this video, because as I'm doing a demo, I really want you guys to see if the foundation covers all the imperfections. And I find that although I didn't count, I can barely remember how many dots I applied, but I will put them on the screen. I feel like the foundation does layer very well. However, if you apply a little bit too much, it can look a little bit cakey, especially on the nose area where you have the crease on the side. The foundation can start looking a little bit cakey. So I feel like start little and apply more as you go along. But I don't personally feel that if you really want to use this as a full coverage foundation and you have dry patches or textured skin, I don't personally think it's going to look all that amazing. Although I really like the finish, and being on camera, the foundation looks flawless. It looks really nice. I don't feel like I would want to wear this foundation as full coverage, but for a light to medium coverage, I think it covers really, really nicely. The finish of this foundation is definitely matte. There is no glow to it. I don't feel like it's super flat in that sense that you look like you're dead. But if you choose the wrong shade for you, which you shouldn't really do because there's enough shades in this particular line, it can make you look different. But the shade that I chose, I'm an NC30. I feel like 08 True Beige really suits my skin tone. I wish that it was a little bit more yellow, but I always say this with most drugstore foundations, that I wish that they were a little bit more yellow. Sometimes they lean towards orange or peachy tones instead of being yellow, but I find that this one works really, really well with my skin tone. So every foundation has pros and cons, and I'm going to go through the cons first because I feel like they weigh a lot in the decision to whether buy this foundation or not. So it retails for £14. So as mentioned before, it's not the most affordable foundation on the market or the most affordable foundation at the drugstore, because obviously you can find this at Boots. I don't know if Superdrug sells it, but Boots is our one of our drugstores here in the UK. It doesn't carry not even half an ounce. It has 13 mLs. And usually a regular or an average foundation here in the UK or here in Europe has 30 mLs of product, which is around 1 fluid ounce. So if you were to buy this foundation and wear it all the time as full coverage, you would probably go through this bottle very quickly. Although I do understand to a certain degree where they say apply this amount of drops to get this amount of coverage, meaning you can control the amount of product that you use. It's good. However, if you want to apply a little bit more coverage, you will go through this foundation so quickly, and not having even half an ounce, not even 20 mLs of product, I feel like this foundation is really expensive. For you to have 1 full ounce of this foundation, which is 30 mLs of product, you would have to buy 3 bottles. So you could have actually over that, because if you buy 2 bottles, you would still not have 30 mLs, or you would not have a full fluid ounce. So you would be paying £28, and to pay £28, I would rather buy a higher end foundation like Clinique, MAC, Chanel, I would prefer, or even Fenty Beauty. Although I haven't tried their foundation, it's still cheaper than this because it carries the right amount of product for the price point that they have. Depending where you wear this foundation, you could have a flashback. If you're wearing it during the day and you're taking pictures without flash, you'll be fine. But if you're wearing this foundation for an event, or you're going out at night and you want to take some flash photography, this foundation has a little bit of flashback, so that could also be a negative. Because it's made of glass, I feel like it's not travel friendly, so you need to be very careful not to drop this foundation, because if you do, more than likely it will break, shatter everywhere. And the worst part is not even the glass, because you can just hoover it, is staining maybe your carpet or your flooring, depending what you have, or your clothes when you're traveling. So the packaging is kind of like of a con for me as well. If you apply too much of this foundation, I believe I mentioned that before, it can look a little bit cakey on the sides of your nose, and on the smile lines it can kind of like separate a little bit. I know I can just do like this and the foundation goes back to its place or to normal, but it's something that you need to keep in mind. If you have a lot of texture, it can kind of like, I wouldn't say sink in because it hasn't sunk into my pores, but I am wearing a primer. It hasn't really sunk into my fine lines, which I have here on my forehead, but it can look a little bit cakey here on the sides of the nose and settle into smile lines. Moving on to the pros of this foundation, I love the concept of being able to cater the coverage for yourself, counting the drops and seeing how the foundation applies on your skin. I do really find that quite innovative, although you can do that almost with certain foundations because they have a pump. Usually you get like half a pump. If you're lucky, if the pump is actually good, you can control the amount of coverage. But I do like the thought that they put on this foundation by using a drop for it to give you different types of coverage, if that makes any sense. The amount of shades that this line has is amazing. 24 shades. I do really appreciate that NYX has come out with so many shades, like at the start of a collection. I mean, they could have come out with just 8, 10, 12, as a lot of drugstore brands do, but no, they came out with 24 in the hopes that it will cater for all skin tones or for most of skin tones out there, which I feel like it's really good for NYX to provide us with this. So the pros and cons kind of like stay nearly at 50-50, but as I mentioned before, I feel like the cons weigh in so much in relation to this foundation that I'm not saying I don't recommend, because I actually do. I feel like the foundation is really nice for the price point, but it's your decision if you feel like it's worth buying this product for £14 or investing in a more expensive foundation and you get a full fluid ounce. So it's kind of like a 50-50 on there though. I do hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments below if you've tried it, what you think about this foundation. And of course, the sun has decided to come out now that I'm doing this video, so I'm trying to rush because I prefer to do it when it's forecast. But I do hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments below if you've tried it, what you think about it, or if you're thinking about buying this product. If you enjoy videos such as this, please make sure that you hit that like button and also the subscribe button so you don't miss any future videos from myself. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you on my next one. Bye.